Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Naam Sankirtan ki jai. Guru Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnu Padma Hari Bhakti Sattva Sri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Oh glories to the assembled devotees, oh glories to the assembled devotees, oh glories to the assembled devotees, oh glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
Sri Guru and Gauranga.
This afternoon's Sunday Praise Talk is given by Srimad Juyodhana Guru Das Prabhu.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Good to see you. Nice to see you. How's Portugal? Como você está? Não? Muito bem. Forgot my recorder at home, so I guess I'll do the next best thing. You're recording this on video, aren't you, Prabhu?
Facebook. It's like on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yes.
You gotta give me the link,
Yes.
please. Otherwise. Yeah. Can't find my voice recorder. I hope you're all well on this January day. I'll have to apologize because I was supposed to be here.
Haribo.
So, you're on the ring with it. I apologize because I was supposed to be here on December 7th and I was a no-show. So, I'm sorry. But I was a bit under the weather. Can we just... Like that? Is that okay? Yeah, not my face, but... Yeah, thank you. Can you tighten it there? Not really. Yeah. Yes, right there. Okay, I guess. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Good to see some old familiar faces that I haven't seen in a while. It's always a pleasure. All still here, working away on the planet. Planet's going through some interesting permutations and perambulations. Yeah. Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopinath Vallabha Girivaradhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jai Jai Gopi Vallabha Girivaradhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
My talk today is called Krishna, our greatest benefactor. And I especially want to talk about the Pandavas. Who here has read Mahabharata? Most people. You will also find segments about the Pandavas in the Srimad Bhagavatam as well. But who here has read Mahabharata more than once? Doesn't matter. Yato dharmastato Krishna, yata krishnastato jayaha. Where there is dharma, there is Krishna. And where there is Krishna, there is victory. Victory for who? Just the Pandavas? No. For all of us. Many of Krishna's names have been determined by his pastimes with his devotees, such as Yashodanandana, Devakinandana, Radha Raman, Govinda, Parthasarathi, chariot driver. There are devotees in all species of life, all species. Humans, the Pandavas, Prahlad, Srila Prabhupada, a guru, and Acharya. The demigods, Shiva, Brahma. Animals, cows, deer, monkeys, sharks. Jashanam makarasjasmi. Of aquatics, I am the shark, Krishna says. Birds, swans, peacocks, parrots, cuckoos, cranes. Plants, tulsi, ashvata, the banyan tree, padma, the lotus. Insects, bees. What else? Well, besides the bees, I couldn't think of any more. You know any others? And the Srimad Bhagavatam, Vishnu says, I am the spider. He says, I am the spider. Because he spins his web. That's the material creation. Then when it's done, when the cycle is over, he draws it all back into his body. Just like the spider. So those of you who are afraid of spiders, that's finished today now. Spiders like Vishnu. No fear. Therefore, his supreme name is Krishna. Why is it Krishna? Because he's the all-attractive personality of God. Most beautiful. So beautiful, he becomes irresistible. For whom? For everyone. Everyone. He attracts everyone everywhere. He is just as attractive to a baby calf as he is to a tulsi plant. Or as he is to his father and mother, that he assumes when he comes down to the material world to carry on his pastimes, his lila. Correct? Here's a verse from Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 16th chapter. Out of his causeless mercy, Lord Krishna, or Vishnu, who is universally obeyed, rendered all kinds of service to the sons of Pandu, the Pandavas, by accepting posts. What posts did Krishna accept? From chariot driver to president of the Rajasuya sacrifice assembly, to messenger, to friend, night watchman, etc., according to the desire of the Pandavas who were amenable to the will of the Lord. He was doing mundane jobs, low-level jobs, positions, and he was God. Why would he take such low-level jobs as night watchman? No one wants to be up all night watching. Who wants that job? Krishna took it on behalf of the Pandavas. Why? Because he'll do anything for his devotees. Huh? What will he do for you when you're close enough to him? When you've done enough service? Think about that. According to the desire, okay, I said that. In some ways, Krishna obeyed them like a servant, offered respects like one younger in years. When he heard this, Maharaj Parikshit became overwhelmed with devotion, because he was listening to this being spoken to by Shukadeva Goswami. He became overwhelmed with devotion to the lotus feet of the Lord. How could God even do that? If you go down to the Christian or the Jewish or the Islamic conception of God, do they speak like that? No. Be careful. You'll get in trouble with God. Then you'll see. No. No, we don't do that here. We don't worry about that. That's Krishna. In Vaikuntha, in the spiritual world, there is equality between God and the living entities. They enjoy themselves on an equal level. Yet, in Vaikuntha, everyone knows, here it's God. This is the Supreme Lord. Okay? There's no confusion there. However, but in Goloka Vrindavan, in the spiritual sky, or here in the material world, due to the influence of Yoga Maya, the internal potency of God, Yoga Maya, Krishna sometimes forgets that he is God. I don't know exactly how he does that, but what do I know? And the devotee also forgets that he's the eternal servant of Krishna. And this is the effect of Yoga Maya. It puts us on an equal level. Just like you treat your friends with friendship, familiarity, laughing, joking, the same relationships you have with your parents in a little bit of a different way. Correct? That warmth, that fun. He does that too. With his devotees. If you were sitting there going, oh God, you couldn't do that, could you? That's why he does the Yoga Maya. Okay, let's forget about this high and mighty stuff. Let's bring it down to where we can relate to each other. That's warm. It's loving. It's fun. When a devotee has sufficient realization, he learns Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Chame Devyam, Evam Yo Viti Tatvataha, Jatva Deham Punar, Janma, Naiti Mam Sorry. Yeah? One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again, but here in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, origin. You come to believe that Krishna's birth and his pastimes are all divine. They're godly. If you believe that at the time of death, and you remember that, you don't take birth here again. And I don't know about you, but the way things are going, I don't really want to come back here. But that's your choice. When Krishna appears to take birth in the material world, who does he choose for his father and mother? Who does he pick? Some random individual? No, he chooses his devotees. Even many of the souls who take the role of demons in his Leela, in his pastimes, or his enemies, demons, enemies, in the material sphere are also his devotees in the spiritual world, correct? It's a Leela, it's a pastime, it's like a play. No? In Vrindavan, everyone and everything is attracted and attached to Krishna. Everyone and everything. It's hard to really grasp that, isn't it? Being embodied, like we all are, means what? It means we're all in illusion. No offense, my friends. We're all in illusion. Maya. Why do we love this body and work so hard to maintain it? Why? Because the soul is there in the body. Why do we love the soul? Because the soul is part and parcel of Krishna. It's part of God. And that is why we love Krishna. Every one of us would naturally love Krishna if this love were not interrupted by illusion or Maya. The body, the material consciousness, the material outlook, and conditioning gets in the way of seeing or of perceiving your true identity, my friends, as souls. You souls that are realized souls, spiritually realized, go through ups and downs and pain and discomfort and disease and depression? No, they don't. Then why do we? Why? We don't have. But we're identifying in the wrong way. Correct? But once the soul leaves the body, those who love that person no longer have any interest in that body. They bury it or they burn it. Right? Why? How could you bury or burn the thing you love for 30, 40, 50 years? Because the soul is departed. That's why. And that we know. It is the presence of the soul that we actually love and not the body. Example would be everybody comes here, the devotees are here, the deities are here, the puja, the worship, the chanting, the harinam is here. If none of that was here, would you come up to this place here? On the, what floor are we on anyway? Fourth? Fourth floor. I know, it's getting harder and harder for me to get up the stairs. This is the fourth floor. No, we wouldn't come here unless there was a reason. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoi Shravanadi Shuddha Chitti Koraye Udoi. That's my best Bengali, sorry. Pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of the living entities. It is not something to be gained from another source. When the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, this love naturally awakens. Any of you here ever fallen in love in this lifetime? 1 or 2, 15 who won't put up their hands. Few of you. You know what happens when you fall in love? I think I'll text her now. You just texted her 2 minutes ago. Oh yeah. And plus she's at work. She doesn't want you texting her there, okay? So we don't think straight when we go fall in love. We become a little obsessive of the focus of the lover. Okay. The body functions naturally of its own accord in eating, sleeping, walking, talking, etc. But some of these may be disrupted in a diseased state. At this time, you consult a physician to cure you of your bodily malfunction. Similarly, the soul in its healthy state naturally and automatically loves God. It is only in this disease condition or under the illusion of Maya that it stops loving God and embraces dead matter and material objects. This is dead matter. That's what it is, the body. It happens to be alive now because the soul's inside of it. But it's dead matter. It is only in the disease condition or under the illusion of Maya that it stops loving God and embraces dead matter and material objects. Sorry, I said that. The natural state must be cleansed or restored. Yeah? If you want to be with God or the gods, even the devas, then you have to become godlike. How do you become godlike? You have to become loving, compassionate, pure, kind, free of judgment. That's a hard one. Free of judgment. The first thing our minds do, we judge everyone and everything. Don't we? Oh my goodness. I went to the supermarket the other morning at 8 o'clock. It was below zero. That's when it's not crowded. And a couple arrived in their car, to the car park. And they both had short shorts on. How do you wear short shorts when it's below zero? You know, that's my mind. Why are you busy judging these people? That's what they want to wear. To you. That's how the mind works. You know? Let them wear what they like. When Krishna, at the age of 11, killed Kamsa, Kamsa was the false king at the time. He had, usurped the kingdom or the throne from well, Ubersain, was it his grandfather? Ubersain, you know? I think so. Grandfather. So when Krishna was 11, he killed Kamsa. Krishna sent a message to Akruru's uncle, to Dhritarashtra, who was sitting on the throne. When Pandu, the father of the Pandavas, died, he was the legitimate king at that time in Hastinapur, which is modern day Delhi. Yeah? So when Pandu died, his blind brother took over the throne. Yet Pandu's sons, 5 sons to Pandavas, were the rightful heirs to the throne, as you all know. Right? So Krishna sent a message to Dhritarashtra, who was sitting on the throne of Hastinapur solely because his brother Pandu had died untimely. Krishna reminded him that he had better treat the Pandus, the sons of Pandu, the Pandavas, favorably as the rightful heirs to the throne upon which he sits. He should not be overcome by greed and envy. Greed and envy. These are very, very difficult for many of us to overcome. Now, I would think most of you, I don't know, doesn't matter, I'm not trying to judge you. Greed wouldn't be a big thing in your mind. Envy, we fall prey to envy fairly easily though. We're envious of other people, or we can become so. When you fall prey to envy, the thing you need to remember is you're not that person. You can't be that person. You can't have exactly what that person has or does. Focus back on yourself. Go stand in the mirror. Well, that's right. I can't duplicate that other person. Then who am I? I'm a singular individual soul, unlike anybody else. None of us are like anybody else. Which, when you think about that, I mean, how brilliant is that God can create all these people, every one of them different, every one of them looks different. It's mind-blowing. So, who are you? What are your qualities? What are your talents? What are your abilities? What do you have to offer? Because that guy that you're envious of, he doesn't have any of those. Only you do. But you forget that, don't you? Don't forget. Play to your strengths, my friends. Yeah? So that's what Krishna said to Dhritarashtra. He should not be overcome by greed and envy, otherwise he will end up sinking into the darkness of hell. Well, how many times was he advised in that way? Countless times. Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was blind in more ways than one. The first one was this. He couldn't see. He couldn't see past his nose is another way to say it. Okay. Krishna first appeared in the Mahabharata at the Swayamvara of Draupadi. That's the first time Krishna appears in the Mahabharata. Krishna being around 21 years old at that time. And the year was 3091 BCE in the month of April. Did a little research there. 3091 BCE, near Krishna. Krishna recognized the Pandavas. The Pandavas were at that time in disguise because, why? Because they just escaped the fire in the Laksha Griha. Duryodhana had built a holiday home, holiday palace, out of lac or resin. So it would ignite and burn very quickly. And he invited the Pandavas, oh, go stay there, have a nice time. You know, it's right by probably by a lake or some water, like we all want to stay here on holiday, correct? And they escaped. But no one knew that they escaped. Everyone thought they had perished in the fire. So, Krishna recognized the Pandavas were in disguise since escaping the Lakshagriha and pointed them out to Balaram and the other Yadu chiefs. And this was at the time of Draupadi's Swayambara. Swayambara means when the girl, in this case Draupadi is a princess, she's a Panchali of the kingdom of Panchala. Her father is Drupada. And the Swayambara means self-choice. That's what it means, literally. Swayambara, self-choice. But when you're dealing with kings and princes and kingdoms, etc., a lot of that self-choice is removed from the girl. And then she is told, you have to marry this one, or you have to marry that one, because we need the political alliance, correct? So in Draupadi's case, no, it was a Swayambara. She had self-choice. But her father had set up a very, very difficult task or test to prove the prince that would marry her, or the king, correct? Krishna, this is just another interesting point. Krishna wasn't particularly in favor of the Kshatriya practice of Swayamvara, which he mentioned to Balaram at a later date. He referred to it as Kanya Vikraya, selling the girl off against her will. Yeah. None of his marriages had been arranged in that same manner. None of Krishna's marriages, interestingly. He also arranged Subhadra's marriage to Arjun with this in mind. Swayamvara means self-choice. So the test of skill was the Matsya Yantra, a fish on a wheel, like a chariot wheel, the fish appearing between two spokes, this wheel spinning to a very, very high rate of speed. Right below it was a vat of water. So you first of all had to string the bow. Once you strung the bow, you stood and you looked down at the vat of water, and that reflected the spinning wheel, and you had to shoot the arrow and pierce the fish. No, pierce the eye of the fish. Well, how good an archer would you have to be to do that, my friends? I mean, I wouldn't go near the boat, personally. So you...
The water was agitated as well.
Was it?
Yes.
And the water was agitated. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so so who did it? Arjun, who was, of course, disguised. They were all disguised. And Arjun went and strung the bow and pierced the eye of the fish and won the hand of Princess Draupadi. Yeah? And then Krishna went, behind the scenes and formally introduced himself to Kunti and the Pandavas. And the Pandavas says, "Oh, Krishna, it's so wonderful to meet you at last. We know you're here. We know you're on the planet. We've been hearing about you, and we're so thrilled to meet you. And how'd you recognize us? We're in disguise." Krishna says, "It's hard to disguise fire." That's the Pandavas. The five Pandava brothers were fathered by demigods. Arjun by Indra, Yudhishthira by Yama, Bhim by Vayu, and the other two, I think, Ashwini Kumars, no? Correct? You got them all, right? In marrying Draupadi, the Pandavas had been elevated into a major political force, with Drupada Maharaj and the kingdom of Panchala now being allied with them. Note, in guiding the Pandavas, Krishna does not himself re-establish Dharma, because he says in Bhagavad Gita, Dharma samstapanartaya, I'm here to re-establish Dharma. but he does so by employing the means of political maneuvering and diplomacy on behalf of the Pandavas. So the Pandavas did most of the work when we think of the battle of Kurukshetra, ultimately. Even though so much diplomacy was done beforehand to preclude a need for the battle. Remember? So what is diplomacy? What are the diplomatic or the political means? Sama, Dana, Veda, Danda. Correct. Sama is conciliation, talks, come to an agreement. That doesn't work. Dana. What do you want? Let me give you what you want. Let me give you what you need. Why don't you accept this from me? Why not give you a couple of villages? Maybe I'll give you this and this and that. How's that? No, I don't want that. Then Veda. Okay, now we have to stir up conflict in the opponent's camp. That's what Veda is. You know, get people to go against them. Let's march against it. Yeah. A lot of that going on in everywhere now. Oh my goodness gracious. Everywhere. It's not so bad in India right now, I don't think. Iran, look what's happening in Iran. Well, they're just of their own accord. They got no water. They have no water. They ran out of water. Can you imagine? Look what's happening in the US, look what's happening in Europe. I mean, I think there was farmers were protesting here the last few days too. I mean, all over the world, these are difficult times. So that's Beta. And the last one, we still can't come to an agreement. Gunda. Well, okay, we'll just go onto a battlefield and sort it out. Well, the nice thing back in the day was they were, in many ways, they were really well, what's the word I want here? They were, can't think of it. They didn't attack cities. They didn't have battles in cities. They chose a place, let's go here. We're not going to kill innocent people, old people, women, children. We're not going to do any of this like the Jews have been busy doing in Gaza. You don't do that. It's not on. I guess the Russians have been doing it in Ukraine too, if I'm not mistaken. You go to a battlefield and you sort it out and then you come back, Okay. Krishna's birth, for any of you that are interested in astrology, Jyotish, I've been doing Jyotish now for, this year is my 49th year. I've got clients around the world. But Krishna's birth, for your info, July 27th, 3112 BCE, 11:40 p.m., 20 minutes to midnight. Where was he born? Mathura, India. And Arjuna was born how many days earlier than Krishna? You know that one? 46 days. 46 days older than Krishna. Little anecdote for you there. When Arjuna visits Dwarka, Krishna notices that his sister, Subhadra, very, very beautiful girl, and Arjuna are attracted to each other. He tells Arjuna to abduct her so that Balarama is going to marry her off to Duryodhana, chief of the bad guys, chief of the Kauravas, who had falsely usurped the throne. And Baladev taught Duryodhana what? What did he teach him? Club. How to use the club. Fight with the Gada. So he wanted to marry his sister Subhadra off. And Krishna said, no, can't do that. Both Krishna and Arjuna were around 27 or 28 years old at that time. Kids didn't know that. I like these little things like that, kind of gives you more of a time frame. Krishna handled all this as the consummate statesman he is, and not through the intercession of miracles. Now this is very interesting, because the Christians, I'm not sure about, no, I think the Jews do too. I don't know about the Muslims. But they go on and on about miracles, and then they did this miracle, and he did this miracle, and then this happened, and that happened. Krishna did miracles all day long, almost every day. We don't talk about miracles. We don't use that phraseology. Why? Because it's God. That's what God does. That's how he behaves. That's how he acts. It's not like a big surprise to everybody. You might have to get used to it after a while, but it happens all the time. Okay. Now the Yadavas also became allies of the Pandavas. Note, even though Arjuna had taken a few wives, which he did, he was exceptionally self-controlled by nature. In those days you could take several wives. He wasn't trying to sleep with multiple women. Arjuna was never like that. Most of these women were princesses from various kingdoms, and this created strong political alliances with women who wanted to marry him. Swayamvara. No, they weren't forced to. Okay. In Dwarka, the friendship between Krishna and Arjuna deepened. In fact, they are but one soul in two bodies. How so? Nara, Narayan, Rishi. Right? Where did they do their tapasya in past lives? Where? On planet Earth, you know? Badarik Ashram. Badrinath. You been there? Who's been to Badrinath? The three of us. Anyone else? Wonderful place. You can only go between, good, this time. You can only go between May and September, correct? Because otherwise you can't get through the roads. And you see the sadhus walking up alongside, same road you're driving on. Bare feet, everything they own on their back. And if you got a car, you'll get there a few days before them, but then they'll show up. It is very interesting. And you look over the edge and you see cars and buses, hundreds of feet down. Yeah. Well, how many kilometers or how many feet are 10,000, 12,000 feet up? Do you remember? I remember got there in the dark the next morning, opened the curtain in the room, and there was Mount Nilakant, 16,000 feet right in front of the window. Beautiful. Okay. Burning of the Khandava forest. This it makes me laugh too. The Kurus would not relinquish the throne in Hastinapur. They were supposed to give it back to the Pandavas, who are now grown. They're men, they're not boys. They're not little boys anymore. But decided to instead to offer Khandava Pras to the Pandavas as a consolation prize. You know what they call that here? In English, it's a booby prize. It's a prize no one wants. That's a consolation prize. Yeah, you can have go to Khandava Pras, it's all yours. And Khandava Pras was mostly an uninhabitable desert wasteland. But Krishna had a plan. Good to have Krishna as your ally, as your friend, as your well-wisher, my friends. You cannot even imagine anything better than that. The closer you get, the better things get. Agni, the fire god, wanted to consume, there was a forest, this desert wasteland in Khandava. Agni wanted to consume the forest, and most especially to ingest healing herbs and plants in order to strengthen his health. So Krishna gave him permission to do so and promised that Indra would not interfere and bring rains. Oh, my friend, no, you can't make noise. No, it's my turn now, not your turn. Thank you. This resulted in Arjun receiving divine weapons, a singular chariot and an unmatched bow, Gandiva, and many other boons from the fire god Agni himself. So that's one thing that happened. Coincidentally, who was hanging out in Kandava forest? Maya, that's his name, the architect of the Asuras. The materialists had been residing in that forest at the time, and Arjun rescued him from the fire. Now, Maya Danava became very, very famous. I'm going to read you why he became famous at that time. But he's famous down in Central and South America, because the Mayan civilization is from him. And they have pyramids down there too. Have you been there? Who's visited? Mexico, Central America? Just me. Okay. So you can put that on your list. You can climb the pyramids there if you like, from Maya Danava. Yeah? Wonderful. Okay. Krishna then asked Maya to build a magnificent palace and assembly house, a sabha, for the Pandavas at Kandava to be beyond imitation and to include all the wonders of this world, combining design and devices that were architectural from this world, terrestrial, that's this world, celestial, and asuric. So all these different levels to make this amazing palace and sabha. This became the famous city of Indraprastha, even more magnificent than Hastinapur. Now, what I don't know is what is the city nowadays that would have been Indraprastha? Do we know that? Does anybody know? Just like we know that Hastinapur is Delhi, but no one ever says about Indraprastha. Do you know?
I was reading something recently that they want to rename.
It would have been renamed, yeah.
No, but the Prime Minister of India is wanting something to be renamed as Indraprastha.
Yeah,
But I can't remember what.
good. You know, that Mr. Modi, he's such an enlightened soul. I mean, just to have somebody like that as a prime minister of any country who actually, spent time in under what's initiation and diksha, and then took a year off and did yoga and visiting holy places and chanting and meditation. What prime minister does that these days? A leader, to take the helm of a country, you must be an initiated person. Prabhupada used to underscore that. He must be an initiated man. Without initiation, what does he know? He has no concept of spirituality and its importance in looking after the people, running a country, and running it effectively. He has no understanding. Narada Muni then suggested to Yudhishthira that he should become the Samrak, or Chakravarti, the supreme emperor of the known world. With this in mind, Yudhishthira invited Krishna from Dwarka for urgent consultation. The implications of conducting the Rajasuya sacrifice politically and financially, and the challenges to be overcome. Krishna's analysis was masterful and revealed his mature wisdom and practical thinking. This makes me smile. Oh, well, here's Krishna and God. he has mature wisdom and practical thinking. Well, that's very reassuring. That's excellent. Of course he does. Why wouldn't he? But yeah, Krishna was a wonderful diplomat. The best. Well, you know, one of the things about diplomacy, as I'm sure you know, especially you people from India, I mean, come on, how many languages do you speak? Hello. You speak what, 3 or 4 Indian languages. You all speak English better than people who were raised. Well, some of you do, certainly. And I know so many Indian people, and I've been following your culture now for 54 years, and I've tried to absorb myself in it, because I know what it is and what its value is. And when you go to a country, the first thing you do, you learn the language. You just do. And it's not even a question of whether we're going to learn language. People who won't assimilate, they go to a foreign country, I'm going to be like I am, and I'm not going to pay any attention to these people. Then why did you come there? Right? So anyway, all right. How are we doing? Okay. It's almost time to wrap it up here. Krishna pointed out that the true Kshatriya race and its tribes had been decimated when Parashuram, remember Parashuram? Incarnation of Vishnu, he's one of the Dash Avatar. And he's a Brahmin, he's not a Kshatriya. And he busily got rid of how many generations of corrupt Kshatriyas, kings, princes? How many? 21.
21.
Yep. Krishna said, what remained was a mediocre crossbreeding of mixed castes. Varna Sankar. Krishna even talks about Varna Sankar, first chapter, Bhagavad Gita. Mixed caste. That's what it means. What remained, of these, about 101 were extant at the time. 101 of these mixed caste Kshatriyas remained. That's what he's saying. However, most of those rulers were languishing in the jails of Jarasandha. You know Jarasandha? Jarasandha wiped out everybody. He conquered everybody, no matter where they were, because he wanted to become the Samrat, the Chakravarti of everything. And he was the major obstacle to Yudhishthira taking the throne. Yeah? However, most of those rulers that we just talked about were languishing in the jails of Jarasandha, awaiting the date of their execution to be used in his human sacrifices in propitiation of Rudra, Shiva, in order to fulfill his ambition of becoming the supreme monarch of the world. Jarasandha was so powerful in military strength that he had conquered all of these princes and kings, numbering how many? Do you know? 20,800. Yeah, take a breath. 20,800 in your spare time. So they were all in jail, and all of their queens and princesses were also being held by Jarasandha, which means, you know what happens according to the culture, those girls will never be married by anybody after that. They stay overnight in the house of a stranger, even though he may not touch them, correct? And how many of those girls were there? 16,000. Remember? We won't talk about that in a minute. There were none who could cross swords with Jarasandha of Magad. That's where he's from. On the contrary, many rulers hoped to secure chieftainship under his reign. And Shishupal was one such arrogant political chieftain. Shishupal. So our lovely Rukmini Devi, who wanted to marry Krishna And she was the daughter of, what's his name? Can't think of his name now. Bhishma. And then she had 5 brothers. Their names start with Rook. Rook means gold. Rook means gold. Yeah. Rukmi and Rook, such as many. And she's Rukmi. So Rukmi, the oldest guy, he didn't want her to marry Krishna because she wanted to marry Krishna. And her father wanted her to marry Krishna. But her oldest brother, no, she's going to marry Shishupal. Yeah. So what'd she do? She was just beside herself. Oh my God, I'm supposed to get married in a couple of days. She sent the Brahmin to Krishna with a message. She says, you must come and rescue me. I'm yours only. I cannot live, especially with this guy, Shishupal. She says, the jackal is trying to steal that which belongs to the lion. So please, come and rescue me. So what did he do? He did. He came and he escorted her. She came out of the temple. She's looking around. Oh, I know he's here somewhere. And he took her by the arm, put her on the chariot, off they went. And then all the boys started fighting. But they got away. Okay. All right. So I could go on and on and on here. I got lots of stuff. But I won't. I'll wrap it up. These stories are just so great. Let me get to the back of the book here. A Vaishnava is one who has developed all good transcendental qualities. Vaishnava means somebody who worships Vishnu. All the good qualities of Krishna gradually develop in Krishna's devotee. Bhagavad Gita 12:7. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, having their minds fixed upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. The ocean, the deep ocean of birth and death. How many times did you drown in the ocean of birth and death, my friends? Thousands of times, maybe millions. I don't know. Are you tired yet? You tired of all that swimming? Unless, here's from Bhagavatam, 10th canto, unless one has achieved an advanced degree of devotion, one cannot fix the mind and intelligence on Krishna, since Krishna is pure spiritual existence. Self-realization is a state not of desirelessness, but of purified desire. Nothing to hear desire stop. They just become more pure and less egotistical, less self-driven. Yeah? Wherein one desires only the pleasure of Krishna. And now I'm going to read to you. I just came upon this verse like a few days ago. At the point of death, listen to this now. This is very, very important. This is from 10th canto, 46th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyone, even a person in an impure state, even if you're not fully pure, okay, who absorbs his mind in Krishna for just a moment, krana, even a moment, at the time of death, burns up all traces of sinful reactions, all traces, and immediately attains the supreme transcendental destination in a pure spiritual form, as effulgent as the sun. It's never too late That's what you're being told here. Oh, I would practice spirituality, but I fall down. I can't sustain. I'm weak. Yeah, fine. We know. We're not here to judge. Right at the end, you must be conscious and focus on Krishna. All your negative reactions, your negative karmic reaction, burned up instantly in the fire. Just by that one krishna, that moment of recognition and remembrance of Krishna. I mean, what could be better? It's like, throw me a rope and let me get onto the boat. I'm drowning here. Yeah, here it is. Here's your rope. You don't have to come back here. All right. We must become humble, fearless, compassionate, loving, render service, and surrender the ego. Hare Krishna. Thank you for your kind attention. Questions?
When things are going good for us, let's say.
Pardon?
When things are going good,
Things are going good. Yeah.
we see Krishna as the great benefactor. But sometimes when things are not going so good, or there's reversals, then sometimes it's a lot harder to see how this is benefiting me. I mean, we become morose or lament, or so many things can happen.
Yeah.
It's like giving out and cursing.
After all I did for you, you doing this to me? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
That's your karma, my friend. What you're going through is your karma. A year and a half ago, I was in hospital. I was on life support. Had a major surgery. I was septic. My heart failed. My kidneys failed. I couldn't respirate. Couldn't breathe. They kept me in the hospital for 2 months. Then I had to learn to walk. Motor skills. I couldn't open a bottle. It wasn't his fault. That was my stuff. I thought, oh, look, I just went through all this hardship, all this difficulty. When I cross over, I won't have to do it then. That's what I thought. I just kept thanking him. Thank you for purifying me. Thank you for putting me through this. I couldn't even think straight, to be honest. And you come out the other end. It took me a long time, to be honest. Just he brought me closer to him.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I'm not criticizing you. But I'm giving you the other way of looking at it. It's not his fault. I went to this acupuncture Chinese doctor. She's an MD and a doctor. She's very psychic lady. She says, you are very good at healing yourself. I said, yeah, I know. She said, but you know what they do to you? I said, what? She said, they break you and break you and break you. I said, yep. I've been doing that from time to time throughout my life. You know why they do that? I said, I think so. It makes you stronger. you come out the other end, you are stronger than you were before. Is that true? Yeah. I said, yeah, you're right. That's what happens. The more things you overcome, the stronger you become. Where did the Pandavas go? They ended up in exile. 12 years, 12th year, Agyatavas, incognito. If they got recognized, another 12 years. Huh? Why would Krishna allow that to happen to the guy he wants to put on the throne as the Samrat, as the Chakravarti, as the great, what do you call it in English? Emperor. Thank you. Emperor. Look what they went through. I couldn't even imagine. But everything they did while they were in exile made them stronger and stronger and stronger. And in their case, they met various gods and certain personalities, and they got boons and blessings and benedictions, and go live in the forest for a few years and see if you don't get stronger. I don't suggest you do that, but that's what's it's either gonna kill you or you're gonna overcome it. Yes? Don't give up, Prabhu. Never give up. Right to the end. Wait, and then when it's over, see who greets you when you leave your body. Oh, here he is. Welcome to Fighter Inn. It's a pleasure to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet you. I didn't know if you'd have me in. Have you in, come on. Special chair for you here. So we're gonna wash your feet. I'm gonna give you some nice laddu. Nice sweet. Yeah. That's how you gotta look at it. Anyone else?
I at the end of the lecture you said that if by the time of that impure bodies think about the Krishna, then they got moksha. What does impure body means to you? Means like if that person had did murder and all, or that person has greed and whatever.
Well, I don't know exactly, my dear, what the impure may mean. It's in other words, I mean, it's Kali Yuga, after all.
Yeah.
I've been practicing, I've been a devotee for 53 years, 54 years. You've been about the same time now. Prabhupada's our guru. And I can see I made some advancement. Am I there yet? No. Not. Am I a cleansed, purified, perfected soul? No. I'm not. But I'm way better than I used to be. So I don't know to what extent it means what desires you have, or impurity, or inclinations. I think each one of us, it's judged on an individual basis. It's like, well, somebody said that, we say in Christianity, knocking on the pearly gates. The pearly gates are the gates that they have in Christianity. We said that with those of us who are raised being Christians. And I said, what's your name? Okay, let me see. Let me look you up here. Oh, okay, yeah. This is your record. And what did you want? I want to come in. Can I come in? Well, I don't know. This is a real spotty record. This is not what it needs to be. Hang on a second. I'm gonna make a call. Yeah, so-and-so is here, take a look at his record, would you please? Yeah, he won. Really? Are you sure? Okay. Thanks. He says you can come in. Understand what I'm saying? You don't know. Sometimes it's just mercy. It's pure mercy. That's why Chaitanya was here. You know, did you? I don't know how many of you know about Jagai and Madai. Yeah? These guys were murderers. They were dacoits. They were terrible individuals. They were forgiven. It's Kali Yuga, They were actually Brahmins by birth. Well, if they can forgive them, what about us? How many people do you kill the last week? None, I'll bet. Yeah? We all have a chance. Right? Just, Prabhupada said, look, we're weak, we fall down, we can't. Just pray to Krishna, pray to him. Krishna, please, can't you see I'm weak? I try and then I fail oh, Krishna, please, you must save me, you must help me. I can't do it by myself. Prabhupada says, you know what the 4 regulative principles are, this, that, the other. I know that you're going to fall down. I don't want you to, but you will. That doesn't mean Krishna won't take you. Do your best. When we have a little child, get him to walk, hold on to your fingers, like this. Okay, I'm going to let you go. Walk. And he takes a step, boom, and falls. What do you tell him? Oh, wonderful. Good job. What, he failed? No, he tried. That's why you're telling him he's wonderful. And he'll try again, and he'll fall again, and it'll happen again. And then one day, he won't fall. He'll walk. Right? Happened to all of us when we were children.
Just on the initiation, could you kind of just repeat this? Is it to be like to be initiated? What is the benefits of that? You have to be initiated to.
Yeah, initiation. Well, Prabhupada was talking about leaders, but initiation means somebody who has gone through a spiritual purification. Let's take a guru. Like Mr. Modi. I don't know all the ins and outs of it. I read a few things about him. He's a conscious man. They're so hard to find. What to speak of at the head of a country? It's the first time in my lifetime. I'm 75. It's the first person in my lifetime I remember that was very conscious. It's so rare. You want to realize your potential in your lifetime? That's what you do. The more you connect to your spiritual self, the less limitations and restrictions there are in your life. If you look at your life, take your life as a whole. If I say to you, right now, since you were a child, you felt a potential within you. Oh, I could do this, I could do that, I feel it. Right? What percentage of that potential that you felt since you were a child have you realized thus far? Give me the number, please. 100%? You're going to go, oh, no, not that. 50%? Most of you are going to tell me, no, not 50%. 20, 30, 40. Okay. What about the rest of it? When are you going to give yourself permission to become who you are and realize all your potential? When? I'll tell you when. When you say, and not a moment sooner. Until you say, yes, you're okay now, go ahead, go forward. I love you, go. Realize your potential. Stop swimming around in the muddy water and telling yourself, oh, you can do it. It's easy to say no to yourself. Say, well, I'm not this, I'm not. Well, okay, then be something else. Be what you are. Be who you are. Be who God created. Realize that potential. Oh. I invite you to do it. Okay, like, I'm gonna get in trouble here with the executive. So. Okay? Hare. And now we'll have RT.
Small Krishna.
He's going to do a quiz. He's going to do a quiz.
Quiz, yeah.
We asked 2 questions.
Thank you very much. That was our being.
Thank you for the distance.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you for coming. We hope the numbers are a little low today, but it'll increase by the time we get down to the restaurant. And these 2 young ladies were on the way home, and I stopped them. I said, you better come back, because after the election and so forth, we're going to give you a huge feast. And if you have we can give you a feast, some to take home. And they came up the stairs and sat down there. Thank you for coming. And you had the opportunity of having asked a question as well. Thank you. The first question is, there are 12 Mahajans. If you can name 5 of the 12, if you can 5 or over, only put your hands up. Okay? If you can name 5 or over, then only put your hands up. If you can guess 3, then I don't want you to put your hands up. And I'm going to give you a free Bhagavad Gita, which I've been doing for the past 9 months. Which I've been doing it for the past 9 months now. Put your hands up. Who knows 5 or more than 5? No, and no prompting. It's an individual thing, and it's an individual gift you're going to get from me, free of charge. No hands up?
He's going to give you free Bhagavad Gita. I know.
The 12 Mahajans. Yes. Anybody on this side? Anybody on any of the ladies can answer the question?
Maybe bring it down to about 3
Yeah.
or 2. 5 is a lot. You know.
Okay.
Well, not give it.
You can answer it, yeah.
He's an expert.
Are you Googling?
No, bro. No, I'm contacting.
There's no Google. Don't use Google Master here. Okay, we thought it would take 3 then. But yes, you want to anybody else with 3? I'm guessing. Somebody put their hands up on the far side there.
There's one here.
Please.
Lord Shiva and Yamaraja
Yes.
and Narada.
Yes, please. Can you go any further than that? No. You know anybody else or more than that?
Get 2 Bhagavad
Okay, I'll keep the Brahmins. I think they're as well. Yeah. You'll be going to the restaurant and I'll give you the book there. Okay? Now the next question is, my Guru Maharaj always said to me, said in his YouTube lectures, why do the Indians let the Muslims enter India in the north? What did they do when they came in? They raped them, they killed them, and they occupied the land. Okay? So, and one of the ones where, I'll give you an example of one. Aurangzeb. He used to execute 100 people every day in India. Now, going back to the question now. Who did the same thing, more or less the same thing in the south? Do you know anybody who did more or less the same thing in the south? Where they converted them, they killed them?
Christians. Christians.
Yes, I'm from the Christians. But can you give an example of the person who did, or in the state that was happening? I'm giving you a clue now.
Kerala.
Kerala.
No. I need you to put your hands up.
There's this person here.
Yes. But speak loudly.
Vasco da Gama in Goa.
No. Not Vasco da Gama. He's the one who discovered America. Okay? So nobody knows? Name the state and tell me how that happened. How they killed and converted people. And killed them or converted them? Anybody? No?
You got a last question, not the third question?
No, I'll give the answer. If nobody can answer, then I'll just go ahead and give the answer now.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Give the answer.
My Guru Maharaj said in one of the lectures, he is Bhakti Vikasa Swami, he said, on one table he had beef curry, and on the other table he had a grilled sheep. And so lined the Indians up in Goa, in the state of Goa. If you ate the beef curry, you were ostracized. And if you didn't want to eat the beef curry, you're in line to be executed. What would you do? What would you do? That's how they converted That's how they converted the Indians in Goa, which is South India.
Okay.
It was a choice of what they're going to do.
Sorry, so we only got one answer then today. One bag of pizza.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, so now we're going to have the RT.
Thank you.
Haribol.
Thank you for listening. Thank you.
If everyone can stand up for the RT. Haribol.
Yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Jaya Gaura Jaya Jaya Gaurachandre Arati Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Parivajracharya Astantara Sattva Srimade Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Ramacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Si Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Radha Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kundigiri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Dublin Yatra Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Narasingaya.
Namaste Narasingaya.
Praladaya Hiranyakashi Purvachava Shiratangana Kalaye Sritona Singha Balatona Singha Any announcements?
Yes.
We invite you all to take prasadam downstairs in the restaurant. Please make your way downstairs for a nice plate of prasad.
Now, what a bit of
anyone wants to stay for more tea time, it's gonna be a little bit more now as well. Make it so. Okay, yeah.
Don't want to.
So we're gonna 5 minutes here. Oh, yeah.